Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to this fourth workshop in Lahti, and I hope you all have eaten the breakfast already and you had a nice trip to Finland. I'm sure that some of you are quite tired after the yesterday trip. I heard that you arrived very late in the night and evening also. But anyway, nice to see you all here. Okay. I feel that time went very fast. Actually, when we were in Sopron, we had a really nice time there and nice workshop thanks to Laszlo. And when I started organizing this last workshop, how I felt that wow, we are all here again, and maybe I'm just getting too old. Time goes so fast, but when I was young I was thinking about it. Time goes very slowly, but now it goes very fast. Anyway, I think you all have seen our program. It's a little bit different than the last the other 3 months, because on this week we are concentrating more on marketing and launching the product to the market. Actually, you know, this our product what we have produced and tested, we are not actually bring it to the market because there is no production technology for that product anyway. But we are making kind of process of launching this product, and most of you are studying food materials and technology, and maybe this marketing and launching is not so familiar for you, but I think it's good to learn something about that, how it's going to do it, and how the companies are doing that. And during this week we are going to do here and see and make some exercises how this will happen. And in Thursday we start producing some reports and presentations about it. We go that for later. What is going to happen today? So we look at this program, and our first speakers is coming from our international affairs. Mrs. Sari Horn is sitting over there. Some of you have maybe already met her, but she's going to tell us about international affairs, and mainly I think she is concentrating the exchange student programs and so on. So if somebody of our students is interested in come to here to study about as an exchange students, so you will hear more about that. And after her presentations, we are going to have a short break, maybe for have a coffee or have a short discussion about the arrangement, anything, get to know each other. After that, Ilkka is going to tell us about this learning cafe methods. Maybe most of you haven't heard about that learning method before. I maybe told you something about in Sopron, but I think it's very new for you. Finnish students, that you have maybe used this before, so I hope you can help us, our foreign students, also in this exercise. After Ilkka's presentation, we are going to have a lunch at the restaurant, and after lunch we are going to have a lectures from our business faculty. There's Ms. Taina Urbanen is coming to tell us about launching a product to the market, and product and pricing and so on. And after the lectures in the afternoon, we are going to have a short exercise about this learning cafe methods, which this is just an exercise. So because on Tuesday morning we are starting the real exercise about this launching the product to the market and marketing things. So I want to give you about an idea how it works on Tuesday morning, so we don't need to use so much time in the morning to starting that. So actually on Tuesday we are going to be in Felmani campus. That's a different place. Then it's not here, so we are going to the downtown. There's a link to where you can find the map. I'm not sure, have you looked at what is behind the link? But anyway, it's very near your hotel. We can have a look. Just a second, it's going. This is actually it's Finnish, but there's a map. So maybe it's a better in the morning, tomorrow morning, that each university or school you arrive in group, because so you don't miss the way. Just yeah, there's an arrow. So here's the marketplace, and your hotel is here. Here, and this is Vapauden Katu. So you continue this street, and then there's this crossing, the Vesijärven Katu, and the Trio shopping center is here. Maybe you know that. Maybe you already know. Then you better continue the Vapauden Katu, and then just a short way to Kirkkokatu, and it's in that place, the location. So, are you familiar with the where it's? I think you find you have mobiles. I think anyway you can put it in the map there. So and put the address. Okay. So we will meet there, and there is also a restaurant in the second floor. You can have a breakfast there, and then there's also in that Felmani campus there's also reception. So if you have any questions, they are very helpful, and they help you to find the classroom where we are. And actually we are meeting starting in room 521, and first we are going to discuss about the morning arrangements, because we are also using some smaller classrooms because we are doing the teamwork. So each team have one smaller classroom, and then we change and then continue, and that's actually in the afternoon. But in the morning we're going to have the lectures about Taina is going to tell more about the marketing. So the lectures continues in the Tuesday morning. And in the afternoon we continue with the real learning cafe exercise. And then after learning cafe exercise, we just get the feedback from the learning cafe and start the group work. So we give you the basic targets for your exercise, but you are going to make reports and presentations for the Friday morning. Okay. And then maybe the best part of the whole week is the sauna evening after the exercise. So we are sweat enough, so we can go to sauna sweating again. So bus will arrive to Felmani campus, to Kirkkokatu at 3 o'clock. So, and then we jump up the bus, and then to go to the Asikkala, and our friend Mika Fremes has organized this evening for us. Thanks, Mika, for arranging everything. We are going to have, I think, a very nice evening anyway. So some of the students and teachers maybe last year we had also this sauna evening. Maybe you know something about what happened. So we are going to swim and have a sauna, and please don't forget your swimming suit, and you should take a towel from your hotel or your private towel, because I heard that in Asikkala they don't have it towels there, so please don't forget that. Actually, we have it on Tuesday. We have a quite tight schedule, so please try to bring everything with you in the morning, so you don't need to go back to the hotel, pick up your things. So maybe because we are leaving at 3 o'clock, so it's going to be. I think Tuesday is going to be a very kind of busy day for us. So anyway, please don't forget that. On Wednesday morning, we continue at the Velmani campus in the same address, Kirkkokatu, and then we are going to have lectures from the companies. Probably most of you know already the UPM 10, UPM Grada. We visited last year in the Niemi at the laboratory, and we are going to have lectures from UPM and also the Kemppi. And Kemppi is kind of making the welding machines. How many of you know about what is welding? Okay, teachers at least know, and some of the students anyway. So they are making the welding machines, and that's kind of different than wood industry. So we are going to hear how they are doing this, launching the product to the market. We're getting a different view, ideas. It's outside the wood industry. So I think it's nice to hear about what they think about these things, because this very global company, a local company, this Kemppi is very well known also. So it's very interesting, and the marketing director is coming to tell us about it. After these 2 lectures, we're going to have a lunch, and in the afternoon, unfortunately, this Koskisen Oy, we know this company already. We visited last year in the sawmill, but unfortunately this year they are not able to come here. They canceled. So instead of Koskisen presentation, we are going to have hear about the presentation about Finnish wood industry. Ilkka, it's okay that we fix a few covers and then we have some videos about the Finnish wood industry. Yeah. Okay, and after this Finnish wood industry, we are going to visit at Lahti Theatre, and it's located very near our campus. It's only maybe a few hundred meters, so very easy to go. And actually, we are going to not going to see any the actions, but that building, it's very interesting in a view of architecture, I think. At least Sari knows about architecture, but also I never have heard about how the real theater is made. So on Wednesday we're going to hear how they make the theater presentations or shows, because there's a lot of people behind the stage and all kinds of things. So it's very interesting to hear about the theater. And then on Thursday morning we start with working with this exercise reports and presentations. And I know some of the students, you are already thinking that, wow, this is going to be very tough, difficult work. But don't worry about, we are going to have a consulting from our business faculty, and Taina is actually going to have two consulting moments, and the first one starts at 10:30. So each team is going to have maybe 15-20 minutes consulting from Taina, how to do this work and how you should continue with the work, and then you're working, and then in the afternoon she come again and help you with the work. Of course, our other teachers, also me and Ilkka and others, we are going to help you with your work. So please don't worry about it. And then on Friday morning we should check the the results of the week, and going to look to your presentations and reports, and then we also should have the final discussions about the whole project, workshops, and also I hope that our students could also come here to speak about the feelings and ideas, how they felt this workshop in general, and all the feedbacks and the new ideas for the future. I think at least we have, me and Ilkka, I think we have an idea that we want to in the future also to continue this kind of maybe project work with the other international partners, because I think this is very useful way to for our students in a global work where we are working. So it's very important when you go back working to some company or state or whatever, your tasks are very international, so you get the ideas and more different views about how it's working in an international atmosphere. Okay, then I'm going to we are going to share the diplomas to our students about the projects, and then have a closing words. So basically this is our week program. So if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer to your questions, so don't hesitate to ask.
Thursday there will be a seminar, and then for Friday you
yeah.
come back here.
So on Friday we come back to this faculty here in this room. I'm going to have a presentation here. So this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we are working at the Velmani campus, and they have a quite new facilities there. It's much more comfortable, and the atmosphere is different than here. So I think you like it anyway. So what about the students? Do you have any questions? What do you think about our workshop week program? Do you have any ideas? Or at least you are still sitting, you are not falling down. So that's good news. Anyway, as in every workshop, I have a name list. You should find your name and sign, because this is kind of part of the project. So before the Sari's presentation, some put this. I hope it's working. Oh yeah, maybe one thing is that I already have made the groups, teamwork groups. So maybe I show you. There also you have the paper over there, but maybe we can have a look. So we have 3 teams, and I hope you find your own name there. If there's any, you find that your name is on the list, so please let me know so we fix it. So I have shared that. So the Finnish students are in the different teams. So our students, please help us, our foreign students, in their work. And also the one thing is that I hope you, at least the Finnish students, please bring your own device to the exercise, because we need to use the computers when you're making the reports and presentations. And actually the lectures and all the materials I'm going to send to your emails, so Finnish students' emails, and then you share with your team. I think it's the best way now to do it, so you get the information also.
I understand.
Trail for everybody was really
Further ideas? You should pretend that we don't have anything planned yet. So discussing on, we are pretending that the Stockholm workshop has never happened, and we are discussing how we should plan it. And for some reason, mostly the previous team tended to concentrate on those of the things that were maybe missing from the workshop, or the improvements that were needed, some friendly criticism which I didn't mind at all. And they did eventually also start putting things like field trips and lectures and things like that were presented initially.
So do some like several rounds of product development. Like product, you create something, you change some property, then you measure it, and you find out is it better, worse, do some changes. So do some cycling within this workshop. It's maybe will require a little bit more time or better preparation, but motivate.
Looking for the parameters.
Because you were really slow.
A better entity. A better
Think that
yeah, the first workshop should start with the introduction of the technology. So basically, how many know what we did before we started to test the PCs? Now raise your hands up if you know what we did, how it works. So maybe in the first time we should do something about that everybody knows what we are trying to do and how we are trying to do it.
Before coming here. Understand properly. So we are doing here.
Okay. What else?
With this motivation stuff, I would say, okay, there could be like lots of motivations in here to like improve our speaking or everything with our jobs and stuff like that. But somebody is not able to see it like globally. Okay, this is happening. This is like good for me, and somebody, okay, I have been in Finland, I have done this, and I have done this. I visited like couple of places, but he's not motivated because he didn't realize that's happening in his mind or something. So, that could be helpful. Like there can be some motivator, or I don't know, some guy to show them, okay, this is really good for your job.
Maybe I can help you. So the whole idea was that we are motivating students continuing studies in the higher level. So when we have students in the secondary school, that they continue studies at universities and so on. So the motivation is one of the issues in the workshops. Of course, the TerraScoring is the product, but that's what we are doing.
So, as Andre told us, he knows how important and how motivating this thing is to do, but maybe not all of us catch it, that how motivating this really is. So maybe there should have someone to keep the idea in your head that yes, this is good for you and motivate you on bigger scale.
Parents, please explain to the audience what was important in the first workshop. And starting from this. They should get the idea that content of the workshop.
Yeah, like with these raw materials, we used like same samples for 2 workshops and haven't any like opportunity to make our ideas happen. So I think that would be great to have a time for trying to make our ideas in work or in progress. Yeah. Because we were doing the same stuff. Not same, but yeah, there should be more rough materials prepared and not only the few from the last one.
So what else is very important when you're building the program for the first version? Then raw materials and making the plans. What else is important building the program? Please read here and just explain what it means. That's the idea in this step. Now.
Dividing
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was quite fine, but we should divide in even work for like people from university and from secondary school, because sometimes it was like really confusing for those from secondary school. But, or we could help them, but didn't happen.
Yeah. So there is a mention that maybe I continue also happy with it. So teamwork was here mentioned here. It's important. Also that people are divided into groups, and then there's also raw materials. And then that induction of this technology to the students. Also there's a mention that safety of the machines and also the machine how they operate, how to use these machines. Other activities like evening programs are mentioned, presentation conclusions, also then city introductions and also the university is mentioned.
I think activities were pretty much like.
I'm just because time is going, just speeding up the one. Also the timetable and then also the companies and company presentation is mentioned here. Working with the same groups, and then there's a mention cultural events, team leaders, product improvements, and then there's also mentioned that maybe it's a bit difficult to compare the results in that case. Maybe. Let's try to get the ideas of students in practice. That's really good. And also the what is this?
Separate work for individual and university and secondary students. That's what I do.
Let's help younger ones. That's very important also. So, what do you think about these results for the getting the ideas for the planning the workshop? All the comments are welcome now.
Well, there are good thoughts, and I believe this is the helping situation is a really good thought, but it's really hard to do the language barrier.
I agree.
So, if we think about the target now, to build up the program for the workshop, do you think that you can build the idea about the workshop or build the program for the week according to this information in your team? Do you think it's possible? Of course, you need some other things, information, but I think it's a good step to start working.
It's like,
do you think?
It's like the first step.
Yeah. Okay, we have to continue. So maybe we take a small next. So, Rasta, do you come here with the new students? Okay,
I would like to say that maybe the task was not set clearly, because some of the students were trying to improve the workshops and some of the students were trying to make the workshops.
Okay. Yeah, there is a, but it's, like I mentioned, that there is no wrong and right answers.
Yeah,
so all the ideas are very important, and some students, they start thinking about that, what is the next step after we have this product, make the productions, and we have these plans and how we should test it and so on. And well, that's a good start for a discussion. But let's see what small and that want.
Okay.
I think few students please come here. From the last group was with you.
The last one.
The last one.
Okay.
I know that Rasta can explain the workshop program already, but it's the idea that the student explain.
So let's the last group stand up, please.
Yeah. Maybe just a few students if they come with you, so don't need the whole group come. Okay, good.
To make it easier for you and also for you, I make some marks. I add some marks. Everything which is marked in a circle, with a circle, belongs to lecturing. What is the jungle? It's about this research doing, and whatever is square is some outdoor activities or activities afterward hours. Okay, so we can just take let's do lecturing first, over here, over here. We come up with some ideas. Again, some introduction. We come up with some ideas. How can this workshop and so on be done, right? And after all, at the end, we just find out that this was just kind of feedback and improving, do this, do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I believe the main point is this brainstorm was to determine we have to make it easier to understand for everyone and make making the lectures easier because not all of us are on the same knowledge level, they obviously, and not on the same language level, obviously. So it has to be probably easier, so everyone will understand it properly. Yeah, I believe in the company.
Well, I think one of the best ideas of the whole paper, I'm not sure where it's written, but it says that we should make another test after we recommend some conclusions or recommendations of the material, so we should test it once again if it helps or if it didn't. So I guess it should be really, really helpful to see if the results will be proven or not.
Yeah, it's making the product better, try to make it better. So not just test it, but give suggestions and make changes. For example, between the workshops, each of us at home, we found out we make an idea how to make the product better, and at your home, at your university, you and your teacher or friends from the workshop get together, find out something that can make it better, try to do it in your university, and for the next workshop you can test those results if it was worth it to change the product or was it not.
So to do some more cycles of the product development.
Yeah, and product development should be like this. I think, of course, it consumes more time and more energy, but it might be better.
Okay, I think we pretty much get this. What about out of working hours workshop activity. Like to comments, what to do when we do lecturing, after researching, what can we do during workshops?
Okay, so everybody come with some ideas, but still it was some kind of team building action. It doesn't matter if sport or cultural.
Yeah, it's important to spend time together outside of the working. So that way we can know each other better, we can help each other at the language, for example, or the things we can pass to the things which we know to the others, or just talk about completely simple stuff and make a better environment between each other. So it will make the working easier between us, probably.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very helpful.
It's pretty good that there was also the feedback from the first workshop mentioned here. That more time for the presentation, preparing the presentations. Okay, the last group. A few students, if you could come also here with your last law and
What's the last group? You were in it, but I don't think you should ask something because I'm good. Is that last group or not? Well, maybe. Just a few words of introduction. As you know, the task was that we should plan the workshop, and we did do some planning, but for some reason the students also concentrated very much on some feedback and some very constructive criticism, which was very useful for me because I felt too good about how good a workshop I organized it. They told me all the things that I did wrong, so that's excellent, that's very good. And what I did here, they did eventually, we did manage to put together all of the points. The ones with the little black squares are the ones that are actually programs that could be included in the workshop, and the ones that didn't have square are more of the suggestions for improvement and criticism and things like that. And I would like to ask you guys to present it.
So there are many improvements, ideas or suggestions. Some of them are connected with the process of 3D platforming and testing and so on, and some of them just with another activities like socializing, evening or night program for students and so on, or maybe field trips and more knowledge about the national culture and so on. So the best ideas to improve some things about workshops for me was better know each other and also better knowledge about what are we doing and what did we do on every workshop. So also lectures should be more detailed also and more
Easier to understand.
easier to understand. Yes, of course.
There was a hint about having more eating programs, which we had a few, but seems we were missing more.
Especially fun evening programs.
Yeah.
Missing.
Some of you missed the better video record because just scrolling pictures isn't fun. But we didn't really have a technique like here. It's much more different.
But you should also want to introduce what are the different kind of programs that are suggested to be within the program.
We got suggestion about having more sport activities, because we went to a pub and sat at home. That wasn't a lot of activity. We also went to 2 field trips maybe. But if the time allows us, then we could do more. But it takes a lot of organization. It's a pity that we didn't really have the opportunity, or we didn't show you the local food, the Hungarian typical local foods. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There was also a suggestion that there could have been maybe another like final conclusion ceremony. We'll find something on that.
Or the unique traditions of ours in Hungary.
Yeah, very fine student traditions that we need to introduce as well as in Shifas.
And of course longer workshops. One week. It has to be strict and scheduled really. Right.
I think one of the other group also mentioned that even though we were using the same product all throughout the workshop, and that's kind of the idea behind the workshop, that there could be a little more lecture about, what were some of the improvements that happened over the last year, almost year and a half, to this process and improvement of the product. So that was listening to some. And also introducing some of the local wood species and wood types.
Yeah, that's really important.
Because we are using slightly different wood species than both in Slovakia and Finland. So that was also another suggestion.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we found really good ideas for this exercise. I think it was a little bit confusing because we have already finished all the workshops and now we are planning them again. But this was just an exercise, it's, of course, the feedback is one of them that's come to mind in this kind of situation. But I think I somehow feel that this was kind of shakedown for tomorrow's rally, more or less. Like tomorrow we start working with the TerraFlooring marketing and launching issues, so then we got the real topic. But I hope you get an idea about Learning Cafe and how this planning process going on, and we continue tomorrow. And tomorrow morning we meet the Fellman campus. So I think when you come to first time, it's maybe that each university school you come in a groups, so that you find a way to that place. And there's also restaurant in the second floor, and there's coffee available and some breakfast at 8:30, and we start then in the 9 o'clock at classroom 521, it's in the 5th floor. But there's also the reception in that campus that they will help you to find it where it's located. But and also I will be there in the morning, of course. And we check all the rooms where we are working during the day, and also explain the arrangements regarding this Learning Cafe when we started, and so on. And then, of course, in the morning we start with the lectures, so Taina will be here again and give another lecture about the marketing. So what do you think about today's lectures? Did you get new ideas about the marketing? On?
Yeah, sure.
I think it was so really good presentation. That's what I felt, and good like samples about these cars and Old Spice. It was very funny, Okay, I think it's time to finish today, and thank you for all your attentions today. And I know some of you are very tired and you want to go to have a little nap maybe, and so on. So. And by the way, Laszlo is going to Sibelius Hall and the Pro Pool with the Hungarian team. So if somebody of you would like to join with him, so it's just follow him, and then you better go to the Pro Pool first because they are closing at 5. But you have almost 2 hours, and so see the fair, and maybe you can also ask. Yeah, because Sibelius Hall is more open in the evening, and you can have a check also. Do you have any questions about tomorrow's program or anything else? Any worries? Everything okay? Everybody's happy and enjoying the time here? Yeah. Good. So far so good. Thank you.